It's all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. What up?
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Angel Marie from All of the Above, and I am joined here today by executive producer and director Dijon Talton. How are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I am great. How have you been? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm excited again that the strike is over, so I'm great. I'm ecstatic. We're going back to work, so yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. And how is it with the strike now being over? How does it feel for you?
It feels amazing. You know, I think both sides came to some agreement, and also with the show coming out during a strike, none of the cast could talk about it. We couldn't do like traditional press, so now that we can, it's kind of like get to end with a bang.
Exactly. And we are going to start off the sequence of press right now because we have to talk about season 2 of A La Carte. It is currently streaming on AMC's streaming platform, ALLBLK. So what can you tell us about A La Carte?
If you need permission to be a hoe, I'm granting you permission, girl.
We gotta spice it up.
A La Carte is about the millennium dating scene and how everyone's fucking lives are fucked up right now. It's just four friends trying to figure out what love and loss is and grow into the human beings they are, while realizing they don't have to be who their parents or society told them they could be or had to be. That they could be all versions of themselves, not just a la carte versions.
I love that. And with you being the executive producer, director, and showrunner, what's a typical day like for you on set?
It's all the above. I mean, to be honest, most of those yeah. It's like, yeah, literally. It's jobs that naturally don't go together. Like a director and a showrunner, they have different like job titles for a reason, they have different focuses. But I think the blessing is that this story, I've been with it since like, you know, so early on, that it's kind of like my baby as well as to Brianna Hogan. So I'm really invested in what ends up on the screen, what everyone's experience is like on set, that there's a level of excellence that Black and brown, beautiful people have a place to just like explore and throw things at a wall. So it's hectic. It's a lot of work. We move very fast, but at the end of the day, it's so rewarding to see someone else's dream coming true in front of your face.
Exactly. I love that. With you wearing so many hats on this project, what is it like working with the cast and crew?
It's great. I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of my Kindle was around since like a part of the project since the inception of the pilot presentation. The crew is dope. Like the DP I've been working with since season 1. I met some amazing people in this new season 2 run. So it's like an evolution of young filmmakers. There's a lot of women who are leading the charge, a lot of Black and brown people. So we're kind of like learning and growing together, which is like a beautiful thing in this day and age.
Yes, it's nice to see a lot more Black and brown people in Hollywood because there were a time where we were a very small portion.
Fact. We're still smaller than our counterparts, but we're definitely on the rise.
Exactly. And with that in mind, what kind of impact do you hope A La Carte will have on its viewers?
I think that I wanted to give people permission to be themselves, to live outside the norms, to live out loud regardless of like pressure or opinions, that your life is your own, and that growing up I was always told like if you're Black and brown, you make a mistake, you end up dead or in jail. And sometimes that's not the case. You just end up learning from the mistake and doing better next time. So giving kids like permission to be like, you can be dope and fly and go to school, make a mistake, and it works out for you in the end too.
Oh, that's right. Now, when creating season 1 of A La Carte, what kind of challenges do you and the crew face, and how did that help prepare you for production of season 2?
Season 1 was a 6-episode first season. We did it in 18 days. That's 3 days an episode over like a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So it was very fast paced. There were so many intertwined storylines going on at the same time with Mahogany's as the anchor. So I think like Jenna Nolan, who plays Shira, didn't start work until last week. and she was one of the 4 leads. So we were like deep into it. So it was really like everyone having to jump forward, not knowing what it was going to be. Then, of course, you see the show, you get the tone, you get what it is. Coming back, you have an idea of like what it's supposed to be and where it's supposed to go. But then we went from 6 episodes to 10, adding new characters. People came and left. So it's almost its own thing. Again. So it's almost like starting over, which is both empowering because you learned from it and you grew from season 1, but also had its challenges because you're like now fighting against what you think it should be in your head.
Exactly. Now you said season 1 we had 6 episodes. Season 2 we had 10 episodes. Does that mean season 3 we're gonna have 15 episodes?
I don't know. No, probably not. It's a 30-minute dramedy. But definitely it was a huge jump, you know. I mean, 6 felt like a good teaser. 10, you know, feels like, again, we're on episode 9 released today, and tomorrow's 10, and it's crazy that it's gone by so fast, but it's so much content. Like there's so many minutes of television that I think maybe as my viewpoint of seeing it, having seen it a billion times, that it felt like a gift to be able to like really dive into these characters and their backgrounds and bring in more of their worlds. When sometimes you have to get to the point of 6 episodes, you don't really get to do that.
Yes. And with you being behind the lens, you were also in front of the lens at one point. So in addition to your talents behind the scenes, you've had a successful singing career, dancing career, and acting career, with one of your most notable roles being your portrayal of Matt on the widely acclaimed Fox series Glee. Were there any big adjustments that you made when you transitioned in executive producing from being a Hollywood actor?
I think that it's humbling, one, and in the most beautiful way, because a lot of times as an actor, you don't see who comes before and after you, that the crew, the PAs, that they're there hours before you and they stay hours after. So it was cool to get to know everyone's role, to be able to empower, to be able to lead the set in a way where the actors are important and valuable, but so is the craft service girl, and that everyone knows that and maneuvers accordingly. So again, it feeds the same part of my creativity as an actor where I get to create, but versus it just being the performance, now it's the entire world that I, you know, so it's a blessing for sure. I definitely am humbled by it.
Yes, and you've definitely grown by then, because in 2020, you launched the multimedia production company called the Talton Company. Why is it important to you to use your resources to amplify the voices of marginalized communities?
I just think I grew up in a way where I didn't always see myself on TV. And if I did, it was like stereotypical and or to an extreme one way or another. And I felt like we were monolithic, and there's different versions of us, and we come from different backgrounds and socioeconomic situations, and that, you know, we have different opinions now. So I just wanted to give people, myself included, an opportunity to say something that wasn't already being said, and for someone to see themselves that didn't see themselves in like Power or I don't know, Living Single or Friends. Like there's a gambit in between there where Black people are just existing and living and trying to do better and trying to make the world a better place. So just giving a space for that.
I like that. And because you did have that background as an actor before diving into showrunner and being a director and executive producer, do you feel like you have a better connection with the cast because you do also share that experience and know what they go through as well?
For sure. I think I know exactly where they're usually thinking and at. It also helps to be able to, like, in the moment, speak to them in the way they need to be spoken to, like what I need and why I need it. Versus someone like not knowing, like, all right, cool, what are you trying to say to them? They're kind of like, I'm not understanding. Like, it's not computing. I can be like, yeah, your mom just cheated on your daddy. And, you know, it can be like very, very to the point where it's like, they're like, oh, that's the undertone. Or sometimes I'd be like, what am I saying here? And I'll be like, it's an African-American reference. And then break it down like to what it actually is. So I think that makes me for sure an easier actor's director, because I also am breaking down the scene from the way that they should break down the scene, from their objective, what they want, where there's an obstacle between them, just as much as I am the technical aspect. So I can already be like, hey, here's a cheat sheet. This is what it is, you know?
It's like being bilingual, right?
Yeah, it's like sometimes you work with, again, why I don't desire to direct myself, why I'm not in the show, is because the reason I wanted to be a director is that I had such great directors. It had such a good dynamic and chemistry that I feel like it's so special and important to the creation process. It's like having a coach, someone pushing you a little further, a little further, a little further than you push yourself. And it's hard to do that to yourself. Because you're like, no, I got it. And they're like, that was okay, but okay, you can go, it could be a little better.
Right. And what steps did you actually take to dive into that side of the industry? Did you feel like it was harder than you expected, or did you already know what to expect when you wanted to dive into being a director and executive producer?
I think I'm going to be honest, it was a little easier for me, probably because my brain works so 1+1 = 2 anyway. And I think the creative side isn't always the loudest side. I'm very practical and like I'm a Virgo, so things have to like be in place. So I think that I worked with Ava DuVernay on a movie. I worked with Anthony Hemingway, Lena Waithe, Ryan Murphy, all these great like directors and filmmakers. And, you know, the young Black ones were just so kind and so giving and so like open to creation. And then, you know, like I shadowed Anthony Hemingway and, really did the work of like figuring out like, what does it mean to be like a TV director, all these kind of things. And then realized from that, I had been studying that my entire life being on sets, you know, like understanding how this maneuvers. I'm almost like training people all the time. I'm like, can I visit you at work? I'm like, sure. They're like, in an hour. They're like, all right, cool. I'm going to go. I'm like, it's an hour. No, I'll see you in 16 hours, you know? So I think it actually made it easier. I think the parts that you don't know are the parts you don't know. I'm always the first to say what I don't know. I'm always the first to apologize. Because a lot of times people's experiences on sets or in projects are based on their scope of experience, you know? And sometimes you're the first line of defense they've ever met, you know? So you can break that experience or you can enrich it.
Oh, that's a humbling moment right there, actually.
Yeah.
Now, being a director and executive producer, what kind of responsibility do you take on when you're working on projects or if you're on set? I know you said that you're basically the first line of defense.
Yeah.
What specific role do you really play?
I think a good director is a good team maker. I think your job is to create the most solid team around you. It's like being a quarterback, really. And then encouraging everyone to play their role really well. I'm not like it's my way or the highway. I'm very collaborative. Like I told you, I thought you were the best. What's your idea? What do you have to bring? At the same time, it's the producing and directing part really is problem solving. In filmmaking, everything that can go wrong does go wrong all day, every day, nonstop. And everyone's question is, what are we going to do to fix it? That's your job. Even though there is not always an answer or a correct answer, the question is, how are you going to fix it? You got to be like, that's how we fix it.
Right.
You know? So I think being humble enough to like trust your instincts, you know? And I think a big thing of it is humility. Everyone doesn't think that because some people do enjoy the power portion. But I think you get way more with honey than you do vinegar. And I think that if you lead with love and compassion, people want to follow and they want to support the vision versus tear it down.
Ooh, I could dig that. That was a word you just gave. Now, out of everything that you have done thus far in your career, what would you say has been the most memorable or impactful or your favorite moment thus far? And it could be either as an actor or when you've been a director.
I think A La Carte's a big one, for sure. I think it's probably the most encompassed of all my skill sets. And then again, especially in season 2, having known the actors now, worked with them, seen them grow, seen the characters grow, to see them actually flourish in some of these scenes and then be surprised by their performance, and then to later hear from them after they watched it and they had no idea how it turned out, and to be proud of it, makes me feel like they jumped and trusted me and that they didn't know if I was going to catch them or not, and that we landed the plane. And that for me as I get older is probably the most rewarding because it's really not about me. And I think Ava DuVernay would always say, if your dream only includes you, it's way too small.
Oh.
So it's like those are the moments that like give me joy because it's kind of like seeing a smile on your face, seeing you win, you know, hoping this gets you the next opportunity.
Now, when you're watching the cast see the episodes for the first time, I'm sure you guys probably had watch parties. Is it like a mom and dad when you're watching your kids open their presents on Christmas Day to see everyone's reaction?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm gonna be honest, they're all watching for their performances, so they want to talk about their performances. But it's interesting because it's probably more nerve-wracking for me than it is for them because I've seen it so many times. So in my brain, it's what I think is dope, what I think is good, what I think was the best. So they could have a different opinion, you know. So when they do have that opinion, it is like them like laughing at themselves, or if they were scared about a scene, because you know A La Carte can be a little racy, seeing that it didn't go as far as they thought, or that they didn't look crazy, or that it was the joke landed. Yeah, so that's rewarding because again, you want people to walk away feeling like they gave themselves, but then also you gave them something, you know?
Exactly. It's that feel good moment.
Yeah.
Now, what is next for Dijon Talton? What else can we all expect to see from you in the future, or whatever, obviously, it is that you can disclose?
Yeah. So me and my family have a show coming now. I'm developing and working on other TV shows and films. It's just really putting different narratives and genres into the zeitgeist that create a conversation, good or bad. You know what your conversation is, whether it fits your mode or not. Yeah, just continuing to push the envelope and to do it in a way of Black excellence as we kind of all rise together.
Yes, I love that. And for everybody who wants to stay up to date with everything that's going on in your world, and for everyone who would like to tune into A La Carte, how can they do that? How can they find you, and how can they tune into the series?
I'm Dijon Talton on everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything. And then the show comes out every Thursday on AMC's All Black. It's also available on Prime Video and anywhere apps are available. After next week, you can binge the whole thing, the whole 10 episodes of season 2, 6 episodes season 1, and you can follow it on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, A La Carte All Black across all platforms.
Yes, there we go. Make sure you guys follow, tune in, stay up to date, binge watch. You know, this is the era of binge watching. It's about to be cold outside, cuffing season. So, you know, pop some popcorn and watch the series with your boo thing. But before we go, I also want to remind you guys to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We are at _all-of-the-above-1. That is how you stay up to date with everything that is going on with our show. We are also on YouTube. That is where you will see this amazing interview, as well as a host of others. So make sure you follow us at All of the Above Podcast. And also make sure you check out our website. That is where we house everything. So there's no excuse not to miss a show, an episode, an interview, an event, everything that you can think of at www.alloftheabove-podcast.com. And also make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel. That is the key. So you can always get notifications and stay up to date when new content is available. Dijon, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure chatting with you. I really, it's very insightful. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I wish you the best in everything.
As well.
All right, guys, I'm your girl, Angel Marie, and we will see you guys next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, swimming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding, where we pull it together. We applying my pressure, I am your new professor, teaching